Hello, I'm Apostolis from Eurovision Fan, and today I'm super excited because I have with me the Eurovision icon and expert, Alicia himself.
You always hype me up way too much. I am a regular person.
No,
Regular.
you are a pro when it comes to YouTube creators and Eurovision, and I'm so happy that I've met you back in Turin in Eurovision in Turin 2022, and you are a wonderful person, and I'm so happy we can have a chat about this year edition.
Yeah, I'm excited.
First of all, I would love like a general comment about this year because a lot of fans are complaining that this year it's not so strong. We don't have as many as good songs as some previous edition. What's your opinion about like this year songs in general?
In my opinion, this year is a show year. This year's all about how people are going to bring the songs to life on the stage. I think we've got a lot of fun songs. And again, I think we have a lot of songs that lend themselves to a show, and I say a
Yes.
stage show, but television show too. I think this is all going to come down to how people bring it to life. And so even if you're not loving the studio cuts, like, look, there's a lot of songs that I'm skipping this year, I'll be honest. I don't think that I'm gonna not enjoy them live because it's different when you're sort of sitting in the car listening to music, streaming stuff like while you're at your desk at work, than when you are actually watching the songs be performed. So I think that actually we're in for a really good show ultimately. But like, do I think this is going to be a year where we have tons of like streaming hits after the contest? I don't think so.
And for me, because I have stated that before in the previous video, I have a lot of songs this year that I like I
Yeah.
can easily listen to them. There's not so many that I really love. Like after many years, I'm gonna be oh that is like top 10 in general. No, we don't have this song this year, but I think it's a decent year with good diversity. We have diversity of languages and songs. So the grand final, I'm sure that's gonna be an amazing show
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
And I would love to hear your most listened song. Like, what is Alicia is listening the most from this year?
So Albania, and some of it maybe is not fair because it is the first song that we got this
Yes.
year. So I think it's like when it comes down to the end of this and I get like my wrapped, these were the songs that you listen to the most, like, yeah, I think that Albania is going to be up there. I love Finland's entry this year, and Ireland's entry I listen to a lot in the car, but folks have to remember that I have a 4-year-old.
Yes.
So, the 4-year-old is loving like a party. Okay.
Uh, for me, Ireland is the grower of the season. Like at the beginning, I from the national final, I didn't like the performance. No. So after a lot of listenings today, I can vibe to that song because
Yeah.
it's like a happy song. It's bringing Eurovision. You know what I mean? Eurovision kind of
Yeah.
song. So yes, it's my grower. Do you have like a grower that maybe at your first listening you were like okay, but lately you're digging to that song?
Hmm. It's interesting. I'm like, has a song grown on? Because every year I typically do have a song where I'm like, at first I wasn't really so into it, and now, mm, honestly, no.
Yeah.
I'm like really thinking I think everything that I'm loving, I really have loved. I'll say this, actually, Portugal song. I
Okay.
liked it when I first heard it, but obviously it wasn't one of my like favorites for like from the national selection. There were other songs that I thought were stronger. But I wouldn't say I ever like didn't like it, but I'll say lately I've been really into it. So lately, like when it comes up in the playlist, I am letting it sort of play all the way through. I mean, it's a really well-made song. And although it might not feel Eurovision competitive to some people, I think we do still have to leave space for quality music at Eurovision where it doesn't have to be competitive. You know what I mean? It just has to be good and delivered well. And I do think that this will be delivered well ultimately.
Yes, I agree with you for Portugal. And when it comes to the semifinals, do you have like an underdog or maybe a song that will may do the surprise of the season?
Well, so here's the thing. So for semifinal one, I think even though people are saying San Marino is more likely to qualify than not, it's my underdog because, San Marino has struggled to qualify in the past. And I would say when I heard the song, I just thought, oh, this is like a perfect show opener or show closer. Like that,
Yes,
like it just perfect. So for that alone, I want it to advance, but I recognize that it might not advance.
not.
Like I have to be realistic. It might not make it, but I like it. And then from semifinal two, I I mean, honestly, my underdog, I mean, it's crazy for me because people are saying Latvia is not going to make it. I really think that it's a song that should do well at Eurovision. So I'll just shout out Latvia. But I think even more than Latvia as an underdog, Denmark. I really like the song and I wouldn't be mad if they ended up in the final because I do think Sissel's such a proficient vocalist. And but to be fair, this year we actually have a lot of strong singers. I feel like
Yes.
this is going to be a year where maybe even if people aren't loving all the songs, I don't think we're going to have like bum notes on the stage because sometimes we do have
Sometimes, yes.
bum notes on the
Yes.
stage. But I am hopeful that we are not going to have bum notes on the stage this year.
And especially with Denmark, it all will end up with the staging. Like if
Yes.
they elevate the staging because the voice is there, the song is for me also it's
Yeah.
a strong Eurovision bop, as we say. So
Yeah.
it all comes down to the staging because the staging of the national final it was lacking a lot of things.
Correct. Correct. And so we'll see. I'm sort of living in a world where I'm ready for it to make it. But if the staging is not together, I'm not fighting anyone for it, especially in semifinal two, because semifinal two, I think we might lose one like really good song, if that makes
Yes.
any sense. And I hope it's not Latvia. I hope Latvia makes it.
I also like the song, yes. And
Yeah.
because I watch all of your YouTube videos, like almost all of them. Like I subscribe to your channel. I watch every stuff that you put up. I have a question for you because you a lot of times say that when if you need help like with the staging and if you need like thoughts about the staging and the camera angles, like call me, call Alicia. If you have the chance to work with one country this year, like you had a call right now and they say, Alicia, we need your help. We need your thoughts. Help us with the staging and with the direction, everything. What country would you choose from this year?
Malta.
Oh, okay.
I would choose Malta. I would choose it because I think Mariana is just like an amazing vocalist and performer, and there's something really engaging about her. And I feel like at the national selection, there were a lot of ideas. Some of them we like, some of them we don't need, if that makes any sense.
Yes, yes,
And I think that this song, honestly, outside of the bubble, people know about Malta's song this year at
it's true.
Eurovision. So I think that would be the one I would want to go, okay, y'all, let's try and win this thing. Like, let's really try to win this thing and be thoughtful with the staging. So I would hit up Malta this year, but I'm not gonna lie. it would have been nice if Greece called me. It would have been nice.
So next up, we have to talk about Greece. And what would you do for Claudia and Asteromata? Before you tell us your thoughts about the song, like as the staging, what would be your suggestion on the staging of the song?
Yeah, so I would do something. So if I'm stealing a little bit of ideas, I would be stealing a little bit of Ukraine last year.
Yes,
I think there were some really good ideas, some really beautiful shots that I feel like Claudia could do. I actually might, because I'd want to save budget, I'm all
of
about
course.
saving money. I would incorporate using the LEDs. So I would have her actually solo on the stage, but then bring in other elements of the storytelling through the LEDs. I think a lot of shots of her sort of like camera down, and then you see her. I would have a set piece. I would have her, at the beginning, some type of movement. Y'all know I love Grease's song this year. And I would also say Grease, I really thought that it was a song that could kind of contend this year. I think people are nervous for the staging. I think that's what's
Yes,
giving some people pause. But I think with a really nice, tasteful, but like impactful, because this story, there is a story being told here. And if we bring that story to life in an abstract, thoughtful way, I actually think Grease could do well with the juries. I think this is one of the songs that the juries could really elevate if that staging is thoughtful. So those are the things I would kind of do. And styling wise, something that moves. I liked the white. But I think we need a garment that has some movement to it, that if I kick a fan on it, it moves and moves, and then in a way that almost feels choreographed with what's happening with the LEDs below. Those would be my thoughts.
yes. From what we know so far, the dress is going to be completely different. The
Yeah.
staging is going to be a brand new show. And as you said, she's going to be solo on the stage, except
Okay.
the last, like the last part of the song, where
Okay.
they want like to show the separation, which
Okay.
is the meaning of the song.
Yeah.
So Fokasa Vangelinos, who's doing the staging, said that yesterday. So we're waiting.
Okay.
So do you think that Greece is a jury-friendly entry? Because the last year we've seen that Balkan entries like Serbia and Serbia last year, for example, which is not the same song, but in the Eurovision bubble, we call it like a Balkan entry. It's not really appreciated by the juries. Do you think that Claudia has the potential to do good with the juries this year?
I do. I think off the strength of the fact that, I mean, this girl sounds like the studio cut. I mean, like the voice is so clear, the tone crisp. There's nothing really, I think, off-putting about her vocal. And again, she's clearly a skilled vocalist. So I definitely feel like the juries need to appreciate this. And I think that we will see some of the juries appreciate it. I do think we have, like, there is a nice mix of kind of jury-friendly songs this year. But even when I think about listening to some of those songs studio cut wise, if we're talking Austria, if we're talking the Netherlands, even if we were talking Israel, because they've got like a powerful ballad, I actually do prefer, like, to me, my favorite ballads this year are France and Greece. Those are my
Me
top.
too. Mine too.
Yeah,
Yes.
my yeah, my top ballads. So to me, it's even hard with the other ballads that are competing this year, because I'm just like, well, at Eurovision, you tend to group and you kind of start to figure out, well, what are your favorites based off of, like, okay, well, in these groupings, like, who do I like the most? And yeah, Greece, I think, does stand out. Again, I think to get that real jury appreciation, the staging has to be impeccable.
We need those moments, as you said before, with Ukraine last year. We have
Yeah.
some moments you were like, okay, this is a
Like
moment.
freeze frame it and then
Yes,
print it out and put it on the wall. It's art. Like
yes,
that's
we
that's what
need
we
this.
need.
And then we have to talk about Cyprus. Theo Evan with Hash. How do you feel about Cyprus this year?
Well, Cyprus, I think, is in kind of a nice place this year. I feel like we're far enough away from 2022 and the non-qualification like there that now we're in sort of a space where it's like, okay, is Cyprus coming back and trying to win Eurovision? I don't think it's going to happen this year, but I do think I think this year is about getting that momentum back and just reestablishing Cyprus as one of the top countries at Eurovision to watch. So I'm curious to see this performance. It's been hyped up to death. Now, I will say it can be a negative sometimes to hype up something too much, because then if you
Yes,
don't deliver, it's like, okay, this is it. This is all you're going to give us. But I actually think they're going to deliver. I mean, Cyprus, when they hype up and say that it's going to be good, it typically is. So I'm curious to see this. This is another song that I feel like studio cut, it's like a lot going on. It like listening to it, I'm like, okay, what am I about to see? Like
yes.
that was my first thing when I first heard the studio cut. I was like, oh, oh, uh, this must be like a show. So I hope that they live up to that. I think they will, actually. I do. I do.
For me,
But
Cyprus is the underdog of the year. Like I
okay.
can sense like they can easily be the surprise. And I trust Sergio who's doing the staging because
Yeah.
for me personally, last year with Ireland, uh he he did an amazing job with the staging
Hmm.
and the camera angles of Ireland. So I'm hoping we can have like a great result also with Cyprus this year.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I'll tell you this, and this is my but. If Theo gives us like one bum note, I'm out.
Mm.
I'm out. I'm like, okay, okay. Because we do have so many proficient vocalists and so much direct competition. We have a lot of male performers sort of doing these interesting songs and stuff. And so, and I will say, Red Sebastian from Belgium is going to hit all those notes. I think Kyle from Norway is going to hit all those notes. And then in the other semi, Adonis is going to hit all them notes. So we need to make sure Theo is going to be able to hit all those notes. And even Marco, if you don't like Poison Cake, I actually think Marco's going to hit all those notes. So I just think with that direct competition, I won't be fighting for it too hard if it seems like the vocal is faltering.
Okay, I can see your point, and hopefully he can deliver live. So, my last, like, not question, you will see. The last part of this Eurovision fan chat is, it's like a small prediction if you can make from this year, like, because we are like a few days before the first rehearsals start in Basel. So, I have a feeling lately that this year we're gonna have a different jury winner, a different winner from the televote, and then someone like second, or like Jamala or Duncan
Or
Lawrence from
2019, yeah.
2019. Yes, I can sense something similar. Do you see that scenario in this year's edition?
I do. And I mostly think that because I think Austria very well can win the jury. I think that that can totally happen. Uh, but I think when we look at the televote, we're talking Sweden, Estonia, Malta, Finland, maybe even Albania. Surprise, like in the mix there. And I'm living in a world where I don't know if Austria gets above like sixth with the televote. And so
I
with
believe the same thing. For me, I'm afraid JJ, he's super talented. I love
yeah.
him, but I'm afraid like Estonia 2018 in Portugal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I just really, I'm struggling with all of the songs that we have, with all of the language diversity that we have. An operatic song in English coming top three with the televote? I don't think so. And then you've got some other favorites in the mix, and you've got some countries sort of giving people what they want from them. Like I think of France even is giving Eurovision voters like what they want to see from France even. I'm struggling to see it get fifth or higher in the televote. Now, if the staging is really impactful, which I think it will be, some people are saying, oh, well, if the staging's good, then it'll totally be fine. And I think I'm still hung up on the sonic journey that this song is taking. And as someone who loves Popra and has seen Popra come and finish on the other side of top five, year after year at
Yes.
Eurovision. I just want to shout out Caesar, It's My Life, Romania, RIP at Eurovision. I just am sort of living in a world where I'm like, because of that sonic journey, will this actually be able to kind of be the anomaly and be that operatic track that gets to finish top five with the voting public? If it happens, it'd be a little bit of an anomaly, I think an anomaly for the
Yes.
televote, but I wouldn't really mind either way, because, but I recognize I have to, in this Eurovision stuff, I have to put aside like my personal taste. It's not always about like what I
It's hard.
personally.
It's hard for us, like because we do love and we get to meet the artist, which
Yeah.
makes it even harder. Uh, but if you have to pick one country that it's not winning the televote, it's not winning the jury, and like winning the whole contest. For me, for example, is France. I can see easily France make it to the top three in each of one and then win the whole show.
We're on the same page then. I could see France doing it. I could see Finland doing it. And I think a lot of people are underestimating the power of serving. I I think a lot of people are just, I think in the bubble, we're so stuck still on Sweden, honestly. And I think we are discounting the general public anticipation of serving. I just I do. I think that there is a world where, what if Sweden doesn't come number one with the televote? Like we've got a lot of stuff. And someone said, someone did say, well, what do you think about the juries in Estonia? And I was like, what do you mean? What do I think? I don't think that the juries are going to be checking for Estonia that deeply at all. I just don't. So even if Estonia is to come top five with the televote, which it very well may, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near that for the juries. I think this is like kind of a Windows 95 scenario this year. But the fun songs that I do think juries will appreciate are Finland, Sweden, and I think the juries are going to appreciate what Malta is offering.
I agree with you. And we have a few days till the rehearsals are kicking off in Switzerland. We know that when the rehearsals are taken over, everything can change in
Mhm.
these 2 weeks. So, Alicia, I would love to thank you so much for this one. And guys watching, down in the description below, you can find Alicia's Michelle YouTube channel and all her social platforms. Go subscribe because the content there is out of this world. You don't regret it, trust me. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much and happy Eurovision season.
I know. Thank you so much for your time.
Bye.